Ms. Stansbury, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, Ranking Member, I'm grateful to be here once again in front of the Rules Committee and to testify on the funding package that we have before us and that we will be voting on the floor this week. Now, I want to start out by addressing the elephant in the room, which is that while we are sitting here in the House of Representatives today, the United States President is overseas using his international platform to continue to threaten our allies and undermine NATO, to spread lies about our election, and to threaten his political opponents on the international stage, and to embarrass the United States in front of the world. And meanwhile, his administration is unleashing thousands of armed, untrained agents into American cities where they are terrorizing our communities, they are violating the civil and human rights of Americans, and dragging people from their homes and cars. And where, in Minneapolis, as we all know, an ICE agent not only shot and killed Renee Nicole Good 2 weeks ago, but also shot a gentleman named Julio Cesar Sosa Celis last week. And not only has this administration refused to take accountability for these actions, they have thrown fuel onto the fire as the president himself, the vice president, Secretary Noem, Stephen Miller, and others in the administration have actively encouraged and incited this violence, incited the lawlessness, incited the cruelty, and claimed that they would provide total immunity for these acts. Well, the buck stops here. That's why today I am offering an amendment to defund ICE in this bill by stripping $10 billion out of the DHS budget and to take away funding. Because we cannot, in good conscience, continue to sit here and allow this rogue and out-of-control agency to operate without accountability and wreak violence in our streets, while unfortunately our colleagues across the aisle are refusing to exercise the most basic constitutional oversight authority to hold them accountable and to rein in the illegal and unjust acts that are happening in American cities right now. Secondly, while we sit here, the president is continuing to double down on his desire to take land in Greenland in front of our European and NATO allies. Now, I know that there is late-breaking news and reports of some sort of framework agreement coming together because our allies had to take the action of actually threatening the bond markets to basically get the president to stop making threats against our most important military alliance. And I know that at least some of you in this room know that that is wrong. In fact, I think I heard that a moment ago. You also know it's stupid and it's crazy, not only because it violates the sovereignty of a foreign country, but because it's illegal, unconstitutional, and because it would blow up our most important military alliance on planet Earth since World War II. Now, our allies have been clear, and an unauthorized invasion of Greenland would not only trigger the common defense of our allies, which is why they have sent troops there and taken this economic action, but we have to be clear that this is also just insane. Like, this is literally insane. And I see none of you are paying attention. You're just on your phones. And so, it's just like how the American people are asking us, why are we not reining in this madman? And so that's why I'm here today to reintroduce my War Powers Amendment to rein in this president by directing the removal of any U.S. troops from being used in hostilities against any sovereign nation in the Western Hemisphere. Because Greenland today, Colombia tomorrow, Cuba the next day, who the hell knows what this president is going to do? And if we do not assert our constitutional authority, he is going to continue to do things like using the unlawful military presence in Venezuela to steal Venezuelan oil and then break the constitutional laws around appropriations by taking that money and putting it in offshore bank accounts in Qatar. Why are we not doing oversight over that? Why are you not actually holding this president accountable? I believe that you all know we are a co-equal branch of government, and so it's time to do our jobs. Finally, I know that many of you spoke up about this last week. The White House announced they would cut $2 billion in funding for behavioral health and substance abuse programs. And in front of us, we have a bill for healthcare for this country. And so if you are serious about saving lives, my other two amendments would fund mental health and addiction recovery programs and rural clinics across the United States. In fact, one of my amendments would take that $10 billion that we would cut and put it towards SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Program, to fund direct community-based programs for mental health, opioid treatment, drug prevention, and peer support. And that would more than double those programs. Imagine the lives that could be saved. My other amendment would add $6 billion to community health funding, because that, Madam Chair, is America first. So I urge you to adopt my amendments. I yield back.
Thank you very much. Mr. Larson, you're recognized.